Hey, what's up, y'all? It's time for some final takeaways for 2019 regarding semen retention. I'm not big on redundancy, and if anybody wanted to know about semen retention coming to me, I would just tell you to watch the rest of my videos. But I think it's a perfect time. It's December 30th, 2019. I think it's a perfect time to summarize this year for me after embarking on the semen retention journey. And I don't think these are coincidences. I believe that is a direct correlation between this lifestyle change and the effects, the things that came as a result. So I've been doing this since it's late January, so I always consider it, like February. So if my math serves me correct, because it's not working for me, I'd say about 10 months. So I've been doing this for 10 months. And so some of the bigger takeaways is that I'm not losing muscle mass, um, which would bring me to another point. I'm just putting it out there so I don't forget. Is that I'm not losing muscle mass. Even when I'm not working out, it still seems like I'm working out. But that's definitely not an excuse for not working out. When I get sick, it does not last long. Um, Also, that could have been tied to intermittent fasting and the cold showers. I've been more consistent with cold showers than intermittent fasting. Because there are, certain techniques that you can do to boost your immune system. I said the cold shower was also a certain way of breathing. Also, look up the Wim Hof breathing method for more information. So my immune system has gotten better. My ability to get out of a funk is unlike anything I've ever experienced. Being somebody who has dealt with depression and anxiety and, being suicidal over the course of at least, I'm trying to remember how old I am, 28, so over the course of maybe 12 years, um, I am able to snap out of it relatively fast. And some people may say, well, I mean, if you can hop out of it relatively fast, then it's not depression, it's just sadness. But I deal with, from time to time, major chemical imbalances, and I get myself out of it. Like, I'll still force myself to do the things that happy people do. So I'll force myself to do some work. I'll force myself to exercise. Get in a cold shower. All of these things that are big accomplishments for people who have suffered with depression. And I've dealt with it long enough to know, what it is. So very easy to get out of a funk. And me, I'm lazy. Some people say all people are just like naturally lazy. I don't know, but it's especially true for me. And before I started doing semen retention, I was very streaky. So when it comes to laziness, I get in the habit of doing that, then I just cannot break it. But now, I mean, I could be lazy all week and then just get back to it the next week like it's nothing. I've been consistent the whole time. And I don't beat myself up about it too much. And it's gotten easier for me to just put things into perspective. For example, a lot of us at this age, we want to compare ourselves to other people, successful people, people our age, whatever it is, we comparing ourselves. And me, I also do that, but not only am I able to block it all out and also resolve to do such a thing and to not worry about um, what everybody else is doing, but also I can put things into perspective and say, well, if you're on the journey and you're trying and you're somewhat consistent and you're doing more than most people, so that's definitely something to keep your head up about. You know what I'm saying? And also just take that time. When everything feels like it's at an impasse when everything is like very stagnant, that you just make time to get away and face yourself through meditation in your journals. I'm always big on that. And on a day like today, after because I was a bit lazy for the past week or so. It's always weird for me around Christmas, and this year was no different. But on a day like today, I say, well, what can I do now? I'm in this world, and also, as I mentioned in my last video, um, I have a friend of mine who committed suicide, and I gotta admit, it kind of slowed things down for me. It really gave me a great level of appreciation, and also because I also found out one of my Facebook friends had committed suicide as well. That's two young black people, probably about the same age too, 26, 27. It really, I'm gonna keep talking about perspective, but it also uh, gave me the perspective where it's like I'm in this world, and seeing that suicide is always readily available for me. It's always an option. Let me see what I can get out of this shit. Let me see what I can get out of this world. You know what I'm saying? So like I said, slow down things for me gave me a better appreciation, and now I look at my daughter differently. Because it's very easy for a parent, if you don't have any kids, it's very easy for a parent to look at their kids as like an obligation, a job, and all these things, which may be true, which is true, but when you really slow things down and look at your children in their essence, and just the beauty of it all, and how you don't want anything to happen to them, and just you got the whole world in your hands and the whole world ahead of you. You got your whole life ahead of you, and still to be so young, like it's like it really is like playing with house money. You know what I'm saying? So anything that comes from this point is extra. Now I am not removed from suffering. I encourage suffering to find its way to me, so I can get stronger. And suffering will come. I'm nowhere near the end of pain. But with all of that being said, I look at my life as something that it can be very promising, and my priorities change quite often, and what I want out of life changes often, and the things that I do and the things that I say I want to do and want to have, I question those things as well, because I might be just blindly following something that's just not for me anymore. All right. So, and if you can't tell from this conversation that we're having right here, is that I'm reaching a great level of maturity, as my sperm has matured as well. So a lot of the games I'm simply not with, like, for example, the social media games or the new age games where you feel like you gotta ignore somebody who gives you attention. You're chasing clout, you're chasing attention. You want to have all of these superficial likes. You want people to like you for what they see as opposed to who you are. I've been kind of silently resolving that I just wasn't going to partake in a lot of these things anymore. Like, for example, if on social media, if I go out of my way to say something encouraging, or just reaching out to somebody multiple times with no response, then I will stop saying something. I'll even unfollow them, because it's social media, not stuck up your goddamn ass media. All right, so that's just the way I'm gonna go about it. Call it petty, but I call it just saving my time. Like, what am I even doing here? One-way conversations. Could you imagine walking down the street and you just keep talking to a bunch of people, and then they don't say anything back? It's like, okay, well, I won't be doing that anymore. Or somebody you see every day, and you keep saying, "Hey, what's up, man? How you doing?" They're like, hey man, I heard things weren't going too well for you. Best wishes. And they don't say anything to you. Would you keep talking to them? I don't think so. All right, so back to semen retention. So I still have a lot of dog in me. All right, I still have a lot of fight in me. I gotta admit, man, wintertime is not very much a good season for me. Like mostly all black people, and I really been thinking about hanging this up, man. Living in Maryland, anybody knows me, know I like being from Maryland. In the DMV area, there's DC, Maryland, and Virginia. I like being from here, but I don't think that where I am currently mentally that being here is good for me as far as the winter goes. As far as it can be pretty fast paced. I would say the city life, you can definitely pick up on the energy of everybody's hustle and bustle. At least I can, and I would like to be in a place where it's like slowed down. But maybe that would change with more success, and then I don't care about the cold as much because um, I can find warmth in other things. But also, I am one to embrace the cold. So other things as far as women go, right? I just don't even care anymore. I don't. I don't. I haven't really unpacked this, but I don't think I have low self esteem. Um, I don't think that I'm necessarily unattractive. I mean, I don't. I just don't care. I might be attractive to somebody. I just don't care anymore. I'm not pursuing any more women. I'm not. Well, I mean, I've not forever, but for the foreseeable future, I'm not pursuing any relationships. I'm not necessarily going to be abstinent. Um, I'm still, I'm still sexually active. But I'm just not going out of my way anymore. I'm not hopping in DMs. I'm not asking for phone numbers. But I won't turn anybody down who seems to come my way. Man, I'm working on my value. I'm working on and my self value. By the way, like I want to value myself more. I want to put more into this world of a greater value, and I just want to be happy. I just want to be happier. I don't want to entertain the thought of suicide anymore, man. And I don't know if I said this, but like I just don't even because sometimes when I get drunk or when I've gotten drunk in the past, I go on these rants and I put it out on Facebook and things like that and talk about how I want to end it all or whatever. But I'm not going to do that anymore. So if I am to commit suicide, you probably won't even see the signs anymore. You have to go. You have to go back because I just don't want to put that out there anymore, especially with people actually doing it and it's really hitting home now. It hurts. So I only want to speak on things that I'm serious about. All right. If I need help, then I'll just go find some help, man. That's how I gotta. That's just how I gotta go about it. Also, I just don't feel like I'm boxed in. At times, I may feel like I'm in a corner, but I don't feel like I've run out of options, which is another reason why I want to leave the conversation alone of me possibly committing suicide because I feel like that's for people who don't have any more options. Even though there are, I've witnessed people do it when they actually did have some options. Man, it's just they couldn't wait it out. They couldn't wait out that moment. And that's one thing that I've learned, especially this year, is that hold your breath. Hold your breath just a little bit longer. What do you got to do? All right. So I was real depressed. Yeah, I was feeling really low and stressed out. On this past Saturday, because every other weekend, me and my child's mom, we just alternate who's going to watch the baby on a particular weekend. And Saturday, man, oh no, it wasn't even Saturday. It was on Friday. I didn't drop her off at my mom's house because for daycare reasons purposes. Um, and man, she was just a lot to deal with. And by the end of the day, like I was so stressed. Like I could feel it in my arm and my head and all of that. And like I was just when her mom got back, I was just going to like focus on my breathing and things like that. But I started to feel sick. That's how bad it was for me. And then my head burning. So very, very easily could I hop into the habit of, um, feeling suicidal or depressed again. And so instead, I decided to take a cold shower and just work through it, and then I felt better. So that's just an example of me holding my breath, and riding it out. And it may seem like such a subtle thing because I'm not necessarily touching on it, but that added fire that I have in my crotch. I mean, it sounds like I have an STD. I don't. But the extra fire that I have from semen retention is definitely being instrumental. And I can tell the difference because this is my first year doing it. And it's not like I didn't have access to this information before. It's just everything's just much more effective now. Everything is resonating at a much higher level, and it's like if you're on this spectrum, then you understand what I'm talking about. If not, it's not going to sound like anything. It's going to sound like pseudoscience. It's going to sound like placebo, but that's just not the case. Because I don't, as far as placebo goes, I don't walk around just telling myself the semen retention has compelled me. The semen retention is taking over. I don't even think about semen retention for real. Even when I'm having sex, I don't really think about it. I just know, okay, I'm not going all the way. All right, and that's it. I don't think about, wow, semen retention is really making a man out of me. I think about that at times, especially when I'm trying to create videos on the subject. Uh, but other than that, man, that's it. It's like I said, it's a very instrumental thing. Just burning. It's a back burner of sorts. Um, and I'm trying to reflect on a couple other things that I may be missing because, truth be told, I don't like to beat a dead horse or a live one for that matter. So I don't know if I'll be creating any more semen retention videos unless people have a specific question that I have not touched on. But with that being said, I definitely recommend it for anybody still on the fence. Um, it has definitely helped keep some fire in me even when I fall off. And it's easy for me to just jump back into things and hit it hard as far as like exercising or doing creative things. So with that being said, man, I'm out. So be sure to like and subscribe. Hope you got some value out of this. See you soon.